tough to have to actually teach that at the level as fast as the game is, to try to teach all those little nuances. Because yeah, he's getting quarterback help now, but it's a different story when Julius Peppers is chasing you. It's a little bit different. You know what I mean? So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, that whole rigmarole about the decision making. And if you watch Jameis Winston on Camp Gruden, like his reasoning for that makes sense to me. A little bit too much trust in himself and the players that he's throwing to, and anticipating too much, doing too much anticipating. Which, by the way, at the next level, that's exactly what you have to do. No one's open. You have to throw people open, and that's called anticipation. So if he's already got that concept in his mind, albeit in his sophomore year, a lot of the throws went awry, that's fine, but you ain't got to teach him that, right? All you got to teach him. I remember hearing a story of I hear Marshall Faulk tell a story about Peyton Manning, like in his rookie year, when obviously Marshall Faulk was still with the Colts. Peyton Manning threw a pick, and so he's running off the field, and he's telling Marshall Faulk, "Damn, dude, I didn't think he could get there." Marshall looks at him and says, "They all can." Period. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Right. And you learn from that. When my buddy Corey went to the league, when he first got in the league, I was asking him. I was like, this is like 15 years ago now. I was like, what about the speed? Everybody always talk about the speed of the game. He was like, yeah, Mike, but that's not. They say that, but that's not what they mean, because Corey was a 4.3 dude. So it's not. He's like, everybody can run. He said, but it's not that speed. It's the anticipation. It's the reaction speed. Mm-hmm. Like the moment you look at something, people are out of there. Like look at Earl Thomas. Like the moment you look at a receiver, he's gone. He's running to exactly where you're looking at. So he's talking about the way these guys prepare. They know what you're going to do. At the instant you look to do it, they're gone. So the fact that Jameis Winston is saying, I made a lot of mistakes based on me anticipating, by all means, dude, you're going to need to do that anyway. That's going to need to happen anyway at the next level. Now we just got to work, we got to allow you to make those mistakes. The same way Peyton Manning did. What did Peyton Manning throw, like 30 interceptions? His rookie year, 25, 30 interceptions, something like that. His rookie year. Yeah. You got to learn. You got to learn how to make those mistakes. But like Marshall Faulk told him, they all can make that play. This is the NFL, brother. This ain't Tennessee no more. Like you guys think that you like how people make those statements like it's the NFC, the AFC, and the SEC. No, it ain't. No, it ain't, because those are still children. At the end of the day, right. Those people are still children. NFL. Right. There is no minor league. Nah. Call it what it is. It's college football.
Oh yeah, because you in college and you Peyton Manning. I mean, you might be throwing against like two freshman quarterbacks,
right?
All freshmen. Yeah, so yeah, it was definitely a difference.
You mentioned, it's funny that you mentioned Matt Ryan too. I was looking at NFL Live today because that's what I had to do today. I had to try to look at all this ESPN crap, and I was reading a bunch of stuff because really there's not a whole lot to talk about today. So right. you gotta find your way and dig a little bit deeper and generate thoughts based on other things. And they got this thing. They kind of bit off of the NFL Network. What they do at the combine, how they put someone's numbers in there. I talked about it the other day with Todd Gurley. You put your numbers in, your measurables and everything, and it spits out a comparable player. And they did it with Jameis Winston, and the comparable player was Matt Ryan. And Todd McShay, a guy who I respect a whole lot more than freaking Mel Kiper. But he said he shuddered at it at first because I'm more of the Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers camp when I think about Jameis Winston, big, strong kid. I think he moves a little bit better than Phillip Rivers. So I would put him in that Ben Roethlisberger category. But I could see the Matt Ryan thing as well. I definitely can. Obviously I think the kid has a much stronger arm. Not gonna say much stronger. He has a stronger arm than Matt Ryan does. And I think they're both very intelligent guys. Guys who can adapt themselves to different styles of offense. So yeah, I guys with decent leadership ability. I see the comparison. I don't think it's the most perfect comparison, but it was very but it caught my eye. It caught my eye more than anything. I don't think anybody that I've heard talk about Jameis Winston make that comparison. But once you kind of look at it, you kind of zoom out a little bit and look at it, you can say to yourself, yeah, it makes a little bit of sense. Not to me, in my opinion, not totally, but I could vibe with it. It ain't the worst comparison. It's not like comparing the dude to Russell Wilson or nothing like that. So yeah, I'll go with it. This is the Sports Kings podcast. You got Big Mike, Rob Calloway coming at you via Spreaker.com. We're on social media at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. Talking about, kind of just got into this conversation about, things going on in the NFL as far as all this Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota situation. Rob asked me the question, do I think, do I kind of think his Marcus Mariota, his stats are a little bit inflated. And I'm like, they are, and they're going to be. And that's going to be a lot of times the issue that you're going to face when you draft a quarterback out of Oregon. This is going to be the same thing when you draft one of Lane Kiffin's wide receivers. He's going to have gaudy numbers because Lane Kiffin is the dude that's like, yep, I got a good one. Keep feeding him. And Amari Cooper was like, yeah, I'll eat.
Well, in my opinion, when it comes to the quarterback thing, like, a lot of times, like, when I see these system quarterbacks, like, the numbers are always, like you just said, inflated. And a lot of times when they get to the next level, it doesn't really pan out. I'm not trying to say, trying to lump Marcus Mariota in there with, like, a Tim Tebow. Like, I'm not trying to do that. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, the system can make you seem a whole lot better than you are. Because there was no quarterback better than Tim Tebow when he was in college, and he was the worst quarterback ever in the National Football League. So I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical when it comes to a lot of these system quarterbacks. I would take a chance on Jameis Winston, and the fact that he's made some mistakes. Because at least he knows how to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole lot, in my opinion. I've never played a down of football, but it's my opinion that, kind of what you said a little while ago, it's a lot easier to work with a guy like Jameis Winston when you just plug in versus a guy like Marcus Mariota. So we'll see. We'll see. We're about 2 weeks away.
2 weeks, yeah. Before we go any further, I want to make sure we go ahead and do this.
It's the Sports Kings.
On this day. Yes, our daily feature on this day where we take a look back in the history books to tell you guys some of the big things that happened on this day. On this day in 1925, WGN became the first radio station to broadcast a regular season Major League Baseball game. The Cubs actually beat the Pirates 8-2. And on this day in 1962, Elgin Baylor of the Los Angeles Lakers scored 61 points in Game 5 against the Boston Celtics to set an NBA Finals record at the time. On this day in 1969, for the first time, a Major League Baseball game was played in Montreal, Canada. On this day in 1990, what did they call Cal Ripken? They called him what do they call those dudes that play a lot of games?
What do they call who?
Like Cal Ripken and then Brett Favre. The Iron Man. Major League Baseball's Iron Man. Cal Ripken of the Baltimore Orioles began a streak of 95 errorless games and 431 total chances by a shortstop. In 1997, the answer, Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers, scored 40 or more points in his fifth consecutive game. And in 1999, Mr. Steroid himself, Jose Canseco of the Tampa Bay Rays, or Devil Rays at the time, became the 28th player to hit 400 career home runs. He was also the first non-U.S. born player to hit 400 home runs. And in 2002, Eldridge Tiger Woods became the third player to win back-to-back Masters titles. It was the third Masters titles of his career. And, ladies and gentlemen, that was on this day. Moving right along as we continue our NFL conversation, just to give you guys a quick update on the story that kind of fell in our laps yesterday as we were recording. Former Nebraska running back, former St. Louis Rams running back, Lawrence Phillips is actually being charged with the murder of his cellmate, a young man who was actually R.J. Sowards. I don't know if you guys remember R.J. Sowards. Did R.J. Sowards go to Washington or did he go to USC? I can't remember, but R.J. Sauer got drafted in 2000. I can't remember by who. But anyway, it was actually his cousin who Phillips is alleged to have murdered in the jail cell. Now, as with any story, details come out. You know, the headlines comes first, and then later on, more and more details are presented. This guy was serving 80 years for murder. He had just gotten out of the hole for possession of a shank. So, you know, if I'm gonna put a couple things together, you know, maybe either one, that dude was trying to try Mr. Phillips, and you know was trying to give him the old shankarooski, and he got turned around on him, or he might have hit him with one of these.
Somebody's gonna have to give up some booty.
And didn't end well for him. So I don't know.
Hey, that is a dangerous place, that prison, obviously, because it was another murder going on right around the same time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah. Oh, Oz. They in Oz, cuz. Sauer's grandma spoke about it. She said she wasn't mad at Lawrence Phillips. She was more sad than anything. She understood that I guess it was her grandson had 80 years. He was doing an 80-year bid, so there's that. Oh, and as an update, as we were trying to figure out what the hell Lawrence Phillips is in jail for, yeah, a gang of crap. He ran over. Let me stop laughing because it's not funny. He ran over some teenagers with his car, and some domestic violence stuff, which totaled up about 31 years of jail time for the young man, which is not a young man anymore. Lawrence Phillips is like my age now, so yeah, he's he's already doing a nice little bid, and if he gets convicted of a jailhouse murder, they're probably gonna give him go ahead and throw an L on there with it, and go ahead and keep him in there forever and ever.
Yeah, that's it. He'll never see the light of day again.
Let's see.
Unbelievable.
This is what else happened. Ike Taylor retired as well. Heard him talking to Mike Florio about it. Fact that he was he said he was kind of waiting on Troy Polamalu since they came into the league together. He wanted to leave with his buddy, so that happened. I'm kind of a different school. It's like Ike, Troy, we know no one wanted to pay you guys any money. Because like even if like Troy's your dude and somebody's like, well, we got this $3 million contract here for you for the next 2 years, he'd be like, you know what, Troy, I'm gonna catch you on the flip. But that ain't happening.
Right.
That ain't happening. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're an old corner, dude. An old off-injured corner now.
Yeah, because guess what? If he was waiting on Troy made that announcement. What was that, last Friday? What was that, last Thursday or something?
Yeah, but
in
his defense, he said he wanted to wait till his radio show and do it on his radio show. So once his radio show came, his appearance on the radio show came, he did it the way he wanted to do it. So it wasn't like he was still waiting on the team. I can believe that part of it, but initially, it's like, all right, I've waited long enough and no one's called. Troy, anybody call you? No. All right. Might as well go ahead and do this thing then. Good for those dudes, man. They get to start the second chapter of their life, man. While I sit here and watch one of my favorite running backs, Todd Gurley, do his rehab, man, in some Pumas. So there's that. Get you some Nikes, dog. You good enough. You good enough to get Nike on board, or at least Under Armour. What you doing in them Pumas? It's not tennis.
With his yoga pants on.
Those Pumas. Oh, this is a question I want to ask you. I asked my mom, but I tried to text my mom, but she didn't text me back. I don't know if she thought I was just BSing or what, but she ignored my text. Okay, so Rob, what would you say, or what would you think your mom would say would be monetarily the cost, or how much you think your mom would say she earned by raising you? Like put a dollar figure on it.
It's funny that you say that.
I need to do that exercise right there. You saw the exercise he was doing? He had the bar across his hips and was like raising his hips off the ground.
Yeah, I just saw.
Yeah, I bet that increased your thrust like a mug, boy.
I was pressed. That's that power thrust.
Anyway.
But me and my mom had this conversation all the time because I always tell her that I will always be in debt to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just because she gave me life, but, it's things that your parents do for you that you really could never repay them for. But if I had to put a number on it, I don't know, man.
Come on, dog. This is your gig. You're supposed to know. Come on, just put a dollar amount on it.